Hello everyone. Take a look. Today we have an old dusty soldering iron covered in patches of rust and a tip blackened with soot, looking like it's just survived a century in a junkyard. But don't worry. With just a few simple things like sandpaper and a magical WD-40, we're going to turn it into a shiny like new soldering tip. Are you ready for this ultimate transformation? Let's roll up our sleeves and get started. When trying to solder, the tip barely heats up. It struggles to melt even the smallest amount of solder. The connection is weak. The tin doesn't flow smoothly, and everything feels slow and unreliable. It's clear this soldering iron has lost most of its power, making the job frustrating and inefficient. The tip of this soldering iron is heavily rusted, almost completely covered in black residue. I need to remove it immediately for cleaning. Next, I'm going to disassemble the body to check the condition of the internal wiring. After opening it up, I can see that the wires inside are still intact and in normal condition. No signs of burning or damage. That's a good sign. These stubborn stains and heavy rust buildup are likely the result of years of exposure to moisture, heat, and flux residue during soldering. Over time, the oxidation and burnt flux have accumulated on the metal surface, creating a thick blackened layer that's hard to remove without proper cleaning. I'm going to attach the wire to the key. This will allow me to connect it to the power source as part of the electrolysis setup. Once the wire is securely fastened, the key will act as the anode during the cleaning process. I'll connect the other end of the wire to an alligator clip, which will then be attached to the positive terminal of the power source. The battery clamp allows for quick connections, easy installation, and adjustments if needed. This clamp terminal is usually designed with a spring clip or screw tightening mechanism, making it easy to attach and remove without complex tools. I'll need another wire to connect to the soldering tip. This wire will be attached to the negative terminal of the power source, allowing the tip to act as a cathode in the electrolysis process. This way, the rust and residue will be drawn away from the tip and toward the anode. Next, I'm going to prepare a cup of salt water. This will serve as the electrolyte solution for the electrolysis process, helping to conduct electricity between the key and the soldering tip. I've got a motorcycle battery here, which I'll use as the power source for the electrolysis process. It provides a stable 12V output, which is perfect for this kind of rust removal setup. I'll connect the alligator clip attached to the key to the positive terminal of the battery, and a clip connected to the soldering tip to the negative terminal. Once both are submerged in the salt water solution, the current will start flowing and the rust removal process will begin. Once everything is connected and submerged in the salt water, the electrolysis process begins. You'll start to see tiny bubbles forming around both the key and the soldering tip. That's the hydrogen and oxygen gases being released. Over time, rust and black residue on the soldering tip will start to break away and float in the water or settle at the bottom. The solution might get darker as more debris is pulled off. This is a clear sign that the rust is being removed effectively. Before working on the soldering tip, I'll clean the front part of the soldering iron first. This area is still covered in dirt and rust, so I'll scrub it down, make sure everything is clean and ready for the next step. I'm going to use sandpaper to clean both the inside and outside of the tip. This will help remove any remaining rust or residue, ensuring the metal surface is smooth and ready for proper heat transfer. During soldering, I'll spray some WD-40 to enhance the cleaning process. It helps loosen up stubborn rust and grime, making it easier to scrub off with the sandpaper and leaving the metal surface well protected afterward. I'll start by spraying a bit of WD-40 directly onto the surface. Then, using fine grit sandpaper, I'll gently rub along the length of the tip. Working in small circular motions to remove the rust and residue. I'll make sure to sand both the outside and the inside edges evenly, applying a bit more pressure on the heavily corroded areas. I'll repeat the process until the metal surface becomes smooth and shiny again. After that, I'll use a paper towel to wipe off any remaining WD-40, dust, and loosened rust. This final step helps ensure the surface is clean, dry, and ready for use. After sanding and wiping it down, the soldering tip looks much better. Most of the rust and black residue are gone, revealing the shiny metal underneath. The surface is now smooth, clean, and ready to conduct heat properly again, just like a brand new tip. Next, I'm going to work on the soldering tip that went through electrolysis. Now that the rust has been loosened, I'll clean off the remaining residue to restore its surface. The key has changed color after the electrolysis process. It now has a darker, uneven surface, which shows that some material is corroded, just as expected from a sacrificial anode. For this soldering tip, I'll only use fine grit sandpaper, no coarse sandpaper, to avoid scratching or damaging the metal surface. Coarse sandpaper can leave deep scratches, which reduce heat conductivity and make soldering less effective. Fine sandpaper, on the other hand, smooths the surface gently without removing too much material, helping preserve the tip's shape and performance. After cleaning, the soldering tip looks spotless and well polished. The blackened residue and rust are completely gone, revealing a smooth, shiny metal surface. It not only looks almost brand new, but it also feels clean to the touch, ready for precise and efficient soldering. Now I'm going to reattach the tip to the soldering iron. Now that the tip is reattached, it's time to test its performance. I plug in the soldering iron and wait a moment for it to heat up. This time, the tip heats quickly and evenly. When I touch it to the solder wire, the tin melts smoothly and flows effortlessly onto the surface. The soldering process feels precise and responsive, a huge improvement compared to how weak and sluggish it was before cleaning. It's clear that the restored tip is working just as it should. From a rusty, soot-covered tip that could barely melt solder, we brought it back to life using simple tools like sandpaper, WD-40, and electrolysis. After careful cleaning and reassembly, the tip now heats up properly, delivers smooth soldering, and looks almost brand new. This just goes to show that with a bit of effort and some basic materials, even the most worn-out tools can be revived and reused effectively. If you found this restoration helpful or inspiring, don't forget to give the video a like and consider subscribing for more simple DIY fixes like this. And if you've ever brought an old tool back to life, share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. TV remote malfunctions are a common problem that anyone can encounter. It might be due to weak batteries, stuck buttons, or internal circuit issues after long-term use. In this video, we'll explore the causes, how to identify them, and some simple solutions to fix or replace your faulty TV remote. Have you ever had trouble with your TV remote? Share your story in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you won't miss out on more useful tips. Let's get started. I'm going to check its batteries first. Sometimes, the remote simply doesn't work because the batteries are dead or not making proper contact. Looks like the batteries aren't the problem. That means there's something else going on inside the remote. So let's keep investigating. Now, I'm going to carefully take this remote apart to check the inside. By opening it up, we can have a closer look at the internal components to find out what's causing the issue. Sometimes it might just be a simple problem like dust, loose contact points, or a stuck button, but other times it could be something more serious like a damaged circuit. Let's open it up and see what's going on inside. Let's move on to cleaning the rubber buttons in the circuit board, as dust and dirt buildup are often the culprits behind unresponsive remotes. I'm going to clean it thoroughly. I'm going to use alcohol to clean it. Alcohol is very effective at dissolving dirt, grease, and even small traces of corrosion that might be affecting the contact points. Before that, I'll start by brushing off the dust with this small brush. This step helps remove loose dirt, crumbs, or any particles stuck on the surface. I'll gently brush the rubber buttons, the casing, and especially the surface of the circuit board to make sure it's as clean as possible before moving on to the deeper cleaning step. Next, I'm going to clean the circuit board using WD-40. WD-40 is great for removing stubborn dirt, moisture, and light corrosion on metal contact points. I'll spray a small amount of WD-40 onto a cotton swab or soft brush, just enough to lightly coat the tip, not to soak the board. Then, I'll gently wipe the surface of the circuit board, focusing on the areas where the rubber buttons make contact. This will help dissolve any grime and improve the electrical conductivity of the buttons. Next, I'm going to use this razor blade to gently scrape the power button contact to make it more responsive. Since this remote has been used for a long time, the contact surface under the power button might have worn out or built up a thin layer of residue, which makes it less sensitive. I'm going to cut the razor blade into a small piece that fits perfectly under the power button. I'll carefully trim the blade to the right size, just enough to cover the contact point without touching any other parts of the circuit. I'm going to secure it in place using super glue. I'll apply just a tiny drop of glue to make sure the small metal piece stays firmly attached to the power button contact. Now, I'm going to reassemble the remote. I'll carefully place the rubber buttons back into their original positions, making sure everything fits properly and nothing is out of place. Then I'll close the casing and snap it back together securely. Great. After reassembling the remote, I press the power button and the indicator light starts blinking clearly. This means the signal is now being transmitted properly. The remote feels much more responsive and the buttons work smoothly without any delay. It seems that the cleaning and the little aluminum foil trick really worked. The remote has been successfully revived and is now as good as new. And that's it. Just a bit of cleaning, a piece of aluminum foil, and our stubborn remote is back in action. Sometimes, things don't need to be thrown away. They just need a little love and care. If you enjoyed this, give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and let's fix more cool stuff together next time.